Welcome to Herlefeld for Farming Sim 2011, an app created by SourceWorks and Desperados93. Well, hello all, we are back on Herlefeld with another voiceover, and this entire episode, once again, we'll be picking up bales, and I seem to recall by the time we get to the end of it, we'll have most of them done. So next episode we'll be moving on to something else. But for the moment, we are hauling straw and selling it over at the sell point at the BGA, which incidentally is kind of an answer to some of the questions we've been talking about here. Questions and comments that were put on Modhoster for this particular mod. And there was just pages of them, and I've had fun reading through them. Some of them are kind of comical, some of them are very supportive, some of them are kind of ridiculous, just like what anyone would expect anytime there's an interaction between OQ public. So I was going to continue this episode, continue to read through some of these. Always got to figure out what to say on these episodes anyhow, so I'll get into those again here. One fella says, I can't get the BGA working. Can someone help me? Now this one, he isn't specific enough, and this is always a problem, when comments are put down. It's always good to have more rather than less detail so that the modder can tell, just what's going on. I can't get the BGA working. Well, does he see the BGA? Is it coming into the map? Is it available? Or does he still see just the lumber camp? Obviously, the answer to that is going to dictate, what kind of answer the modder or someone else could give. But there's many others that had that problem too. Moltofill, don't know what that means, says, open the map with a Giants editor and then change the values under clip distance for the various things. So he's probably chewing someone else out, telling them they need to fix their problem. Oh yeah, someone asked just ahead of him, how can I change the clip distance? Let's see, don't let her put in the things that one needs. I haven't a clue what that means. Can you help me? The BGA isn't working for me. Can you post it here? Yeah, once again, that's... actually, did he double up that question? Yeah, he already asked it once, so he's trying again. He also is the one, I assume it's a he, most everybody playing this game typically is a he, also said don't let her put in the things that one needs. I just don't know what that means. The other thing, not only language differences do you have going on, with something like this, you also may have varying ages and maturities going on too, and if it's a little kid, you just never know. They may not know how to ask a particular question. I need some help. I downloaded the app and can start it, but I can't access the shop or exit the game with escape. Please help as soon as possible. Ooh, yeah, what this guy sounds like he has is some recurring error that's banging his log file. And probably if he would open it up, he would find the same error hitting over and over and over. And once you have one of those errors in there, yeah, sometimes it does prevent you from even leaving the game. And you gotta give it the 3-finger salute, Control-Alt-Delete, or something to get out of there. The map is very good, but there are a few problems. For example, the gate at the shop doesn't open, or on the highway the cars don't drive properly in their lane and drive into the guardrail, for example. So it sounds like he's missing a script to open the gates. That should be an easy fix. And also in our episodes here, we pointed out that the cars were kind of in the wrong lane. And, it's a lot of tedium to set up a driving route. So I may do it at some point. I think some of that is simply ambiance, and it all depends on just how detail-oriented a person is. You know, we're not even out on the Autobahn or on the motorway there, so at some level, who cares if they're plowing through guardrails or whatever. But we can tell when we look over there, there's obviously cars going on the Autobahns. That's probably the main point. But maybe at some point we'll fix it too. Why is the speed limit only 30 kilometers an hour on the roads? Please PM me. Okay. That's probably a limit set by the game or the game Lua files. And I think you can change it if you know where to hit the Lua code. So it is, I gotta say, it is kind of weird in Farming Sim when you go on the roads and the cars are so slow that you can go around them. And, you know, I do it in here routinely. Well, yeah, there I just did, a matter of fact. So I look on the screen as I'm talking here, I just passed a car. You know, you'd never do that in real life, particularly not with a full load of bales, for goodness sake. So, but on the other hand, if the cars zoomed along like they do in real life, you know, you could get into a lot of trouble too, just trying to farm in there, and it'd be a painful experience. So that's probably why they're slow. Gates aren't opening, another comment about that. Another question about what silage bucket to use so I can feed the biogas plant. Let's see. Hello, users. I have a question. Do I need to insert the BGA add-on into the map or just into the mods folder? And is the highway actually necessary? Another person wanting to know via PM. Of course, the answer to both of his questions is no. You don't need the highway. Don't have to put it into the map. Just put it in the mods folder. Doesn't work for me. Please help. Yeah, some of these are starting to recur now. Could someone please send me links to map door trigger privately? Oh yeah, because nobody else needs them, so they need to come to you privately. I think sometimes people are just embarrassed when they ask a question. You know, they maybe feel like an idiot if they think, well, maybe it's clear to everyone else but me, so maybe if they reply to me privately, it won't feel bad for asking a question. Awesome map, kudos to the modder. What are these scripts? Can someone send me a download link? That was probably fixed later where the links were added. Of course, unfortunately now, many of the links are broken. I've already downloaded the map twice, but it runs very choppy, then crashes. What could be the reason for this? You know, if it wasn't for the fact that this comment was left clear back in 2011, and here we are 15 years later, I'd probably go reply to him. Because, you know, this fella sounds like he's having the same trouble I did, and now that large address-aware fix that I have, it expands the amount of memory that this game is able to use. I haven't since had a crash, and I've played several times, you know, longer than half an hour, and all I really care about is going to last half an hour at least. But it sounds like he had the same trouble. Yeah, another person commenting on the speed of oh wait, no, it's a little bit different. Why do some tractors on this map only drive at 30 kilometers an hour? Well, I don't know. I mean, not everything is fast, and most ag machinery is pretty slow. Can someone make the map with the BGA DLC? I remember commenting on this in one of my earlier episodes on this, and I still am curious to see how all this works. The map here uses scripts that were made by a modder to simulate a BGA, and it must have been made before the Giants released their BGA DLC, so someone here is apparently saying, hey, replace it with the real thing. I don't know. We'll see how it works. Maybe it isn't as good. I don't know. I don't get any money for the milk. Well, maybe he doesn't have any cows. I don't know what that's about. Great map. However, I have a problem. When I want to play multiplayer, the silos at the biogas plant are always full and covered. I can't add anything. What can I do? works fine in single player. That's an interesting comment. And you know, here's a problem too. The mapper in this case did not write the scripts, that are used in the map for the BGA. So this person here has a great comment, but unfortunately, it's likely that the mod author for the BGA won't even ever see it, because this isn't the place for his mod to be supported. It's designed for the map. Sounds like there's either a problem. Farm Sim 11 was the first version of the franchise that had multiplayer capability, so it means almost every mod had to be designed with multiplayer playing kept in mind. And so scripts, and I don't know if the BGA script was carried over from FS09. I don't know if it's designed for multiplayer. It isn't something I'm going to test, but maybe it doesn't work in a multiplayer environment, or maybe this guy is missing one of the scripts, that he needs. First of all, a huge compliment and a big thank you to the creators. The Herlefeld map VE2 without add-ons is, in my opinion, one of the best maps I've ever played. I've spent several hours on it and tried out many different things. It runs completely smoothly and without any crashes. It is beautifully designed. It doesn't get boring even after extended playtime. Good for you. I'm envious you don't have any crashes. All the mods I use work perfectly, and I haven't had any other problems. Therefore, I give the map 4.9 out of 5 points, as I personally would have liked to see a manure and or slurry selling station. Until Farming Simulator, I don't know that I ever thought about people literally selling something like manure or slurry. I know on the farm that I worked on, we had manure always available, it seemed like, from the animals, but yeah, I don't ever recall saying, hey, let's go to the store and sell this. Yeah, it must be interesting. Yeah, someone just wanted a sell trigger to do something with it. The closest you can have to sell it, I guess, just put it on the fields with some benefit, fertilization. The map is really good. I do have one question though, since version 2. Are the cows only in the new meadow, shown on the PDA? Is it one from version 1, the one by the farm, now essentially useless? Yeah, I don't know about that. At some point we'll have cows, so maybe we can see kind of how all that works. Where can I find the BGA add-on for this version? Someone's looking for the mod. Why was the graphics quality reduced? Yeah, someone else complaining about clip distances. The pictures look very promising. I'll download them now and then. Okay, thanks for sharing. This map is the best I know, and I don't think any other map will come close anytime soon. There are two things I would suggest, though, that would make it absolutely perfect and unbeatable. Could you please make an add-on for beets and potatoes so that we can plant them and have a factory that accepts them? Just a small thing. Could you make the triggers for unloading, for example, as the tire irons, longer so that we can unload 2 threshing trailers at the same time? It would be great if you could implement that. Thanks in advance. Thanks for the awesome map. Yeah, interesting suggestions. He's not the only one who suggested something for multi-fruit. Another fella asking where to download the map door trigger. Someone's having a problem. He says, I can't access the trading area. That means I can only play with the machines that are already there. Trading area. I wonder if that's the shop or the store. I wonder if he needs the script to open the doors. I don't know if he can't get in there. My new favorite map with the add-ons is simply amazing. The map layout is incredible, well thought out. Finally, someone who hasn't just focused on the straw swaths, but also on the grass and hay swaths. Oh, interesting. I can't say that I've noticed that in here. Straw swaths, but also on the grass and hay swaths. I also think that the grain textures are fantastic. You can finally distinguish them visually. Huge praise and many thanks to the creator of this masterpiece of a map. Huh, I didn't notice anything with the grass swaths or hay swaths, so I'm not sure what he's referring to there. Best map I've ever played on. It would be cool if version 3 came out. I'd definitely play that one too. Keep up the good work. Someone's asking how many farms are there on the map. I don't know if they're asking how many fields. Map is really awesome. Kudos to the modder. This is a best map on Modhoster. Kudos to Desperados93. Wait a minute, is it 98 or 93? Yeah, I think they have that wrong. Oh well. When I insert the map and start the game, the escape key no longer works, and neither does the P key for traders. Yeah, this person has a mod conflict or something's going wrong, going haywire in their log file. We talked about that one before. It's a highway add-on, absolutely necessary. And please reply via private message, another one of those. Short answer is no, and this is where you need to read the description. But like I say, who knows? Maybe the modder updated the description later. You know, there's so many times a mod gets dropped, and there is zero, absolutely nothing in the description. And, you know, it's one thing if it's a tractor or a trailer or a combine or something, well, you can kind of see if there's a picture or by the name of it. But sometimes it's a script or something, and there's no description. There'll be some cryptic name on it, and nobody can tell what it's even for. And it's really incumbent on the modder and the uploader to make sure that description gets in there. Okay. I've been playing this map for a week now. It's the best I've ever been on. There's just one small problem I have to complain about. When I'm harvesting corn with the silage harvester and it's supposed to unload into the silo, it just drives right through without unloading. It would be great if someone could help me with that. Otherwise, it gets 10 out of 10. So, silage harvest. Okay, so this is something we have yet to do. We have some corn left in here. I think that's what I'm going to get to when I get done with these bales. Is we go to the corn. I got to put the combine away, but we've taken care of all the small grains. Corn is left. I think I'll silage cut it and won't combine it. So I will see. Maybe I should try to put some in all the silos that they have out there, the bunkers, if you will, and see if they all accept it. This fellow apparently says it doesn't. Hey guys, the map is really awesome. I have to say, however, I have a problem. I have the manure and slurry add-on installed, but I can't spread any manure at all, even though I have the add-on installed and it bought cows. Why isn't it working? Please help me. I'm going to flag that one. I think I also have it installed. I haven't spread any manure yet on the fields because I don't have any. But yeah, we'll see if it works. Hey guys, so the map is awesome, but there's one problem. Even with a biogas plant add-on, the lumberyard still appears for me. It would be really great if someone could give me a tip or suggestion as to why this is happening. He probably has the wrong version of the map, or the wrong version of the biogas add-on. Is anyone else having the problem that they're not getting paid for their milk? Yeah, I don't know if that's a problem or not. We don't have cattle, so we'll see if it happens. Sometimes a map is set up where the player needs to pick up the milk and take it themselves. This one here, I would anticipate we don't have to do it because the map author set up a special route for the milk truck to go. Ooh, there had an accident in the intersection. But no problem, never fear. You tip those cars over and they just keep on a-driving. Let's see here. Yeah, so I don't know if we'll get paid for milk or not. Seems like we should be, so yeah, we'll just have to give it a try. The tarpaulin and tires for the silo at the biogas plant are hanging in mid-air. I think that needs to be looked at more closely. Don't know what that's about. Great map. Just one question. Where can I reload my stored grain onto my trailers? You know, I had this problem too. And if something isn't intuitive or clear, I haven't, most of the grain that I've harvested, I've just taken straight over to the sell point, and I think that's all I'm going to do in the future. Don't really have a reason to store it in the home silo. But I did store some in the main silo, and it's a drive-through, and it was kind of, you drive in, you dump it in a pit, and then to the right of where you drive in are, some silos, and then on the other side there's another lane, and you can see a spout where you could potentially receive material. But I drove in there, and it wouldn't put any material in there, and then I remembered in Farm Sim 11, each type of grain has its own silo. It isn't like later versions where you have multi-silo and you can specify what you want from your central storage put into your trailer. So you have to know the specific place to go to unload your silos in this version. And I had to open the editor to find them. They are kind of on the farm in the middle. They aren't in the same building, where you dump it off. There's actually another building kind of on the northern end next to the road where you have several bunkers you have to back into. There's spouts in there that'll fill your trailer. It's a little cumbersome because it's kind of tight and there isn't much space. So unfortunately, no one answered this person's question. I have a question. We fill the silage silo and can't take anything out with the wheel loader to feed the biogas plant. What's wrong? Could someone help me? Yeah, I'm probably going to end up having this problem too. So at least we'll try to mod maybe the shovel or whatever to make sure it can take it. But I thought I'd seen some code, some Lua code that's set up so that all the shovels in the game, or all the front loaders, if you will, could handle silage. So who knows, what's going on with this. This might be another thing I'll flag. Don't know if I'll run into it. It's a real shame that the manure and slurry can't be plowed or incorporated into the soil. It ruins the fun. What a pity. Yeah, we talked about that before. We'll see. I mean, I almost think over on the Feldima app, I had a fix for the ad, or I had to make a fix, and it was just something in the Lua code to tell it to destroy that other layer whenever you drag a cultivator or plow over it. So I don't anticipate it'll be a problem, but we'll see. Where can one sell grain? Well, that's only one place. That's a pretty easy one. We know where that is. Can someone tell me why the BGA isn't there and why the gates in my place aren't opening? Sounds like someone is missing some scripts. I think the map is very good. Another person doesn't like the clip distances. Maybe release 2 versions, high and low, so the clip distances would be significantly higher in the high version. It seems like there used to be more of that back in the day, where you had a detailed version of the map that had exactly what this guy is saying, higher clip distances, and then you had a less detailed version which was easier to run for machines that had lower capability. So maybe that's what he's asking for. It just all takes time to do that kind of thing. The map complete with the BGA and highway would have been better than the add-on nonsense. He doesn't like having to find those other mods. Otherwise, it's a very good map. Only the stones on the paths are incredibly annoying. And after removing them, the BGA is no longer on the map, despite the add-on being in the mods folder. Can I place a BGA directly on the map myself? This guy is Skippy. Sure, Skippy, you can put it in there if you know what you're doing. And the stones, by the way, those little stones, I've learned, you don't have to take them out in the editor if they're annoying to you. You can take them out with a cultivator. And so if they're in your driveway or whatever and you don't like them there, just drag the cultivator on it. I think it'll take them out. And you won't turn it into dirt at the same time because you're probably not in the field. So kind of neat that the Giants added that. That's built right into their own code. I think the app is really awesome. Huge kudos to the modder. great map. What are those tiles in picture 34? Don't know what that refers to. Can someone tell me why the BGA isn't there? Because it would be great if the BGA was there. Yeah, someone's having a script problem, wrong version. This map is definitely recommended. I use it without the highway mod. The only downside I've noticed so far is the car is constantly getting stuck in intersections. But the traffic jams disappear if you just keep driving. Field sizes are perfect for me. Thanks for an incredibly cool map with such a high level of realism. Can't say whether the map works on less powerful computers or runs perfect for me. 5 stars. The map is awesome. What kind of Flegel are those in picture 33? It would be great if you could answer me. Yeah, sometimes when you see these, a person gets interested in the other mods, that you see in pictures that people submit, up into using the mod. And Modhoster was really good at the app, by the way, where users could submit pictures of their own use of the mod. I did that a lot with Felding. I have a problem. There is no pressing escape and cannot be to produce the map. Help me. What is the error? Otherwise seems to be a top map. That's probably an odd conflict. When I play multiplayer, the BGA isn't there, but the stupid lumberyard is. Can someone tell me why this isn't working? Yeah, we've kind of talked about that. Hi, I think the map is awesome, but I have a problem. Can't download the BGA. Could someone send it to me via Skype? Oh man, I haven't heard of Skype in ages. I guess we were using it back then. I would like to download this map, but could you please change the download link to direct download? I think it is happening now. Although, kind of like we discussed before, sometimes modders could earn a little bit when they had it on their own link, which came with a whole bunch of pop-ups. How can I cover the filled silos in order to empty them? I kind of have my own question about that, but I need to fill the things first. Can someone add sugar beet and potato? Does the grass actually grow back on the meadows that have already been mowed? Yeah, we've covered that before. I don't think it will. I think it either needs to be replanted or I need to add it in the editor. Maybe it was deliberate by the map author. I really don't know. Or maybe it was just an oversight and was missed. The map is awesome, but could someone please add 2 to 3 decent silos where you can drive while unloading? Well, you can. Yeah, the one on the main farm, it's a drive-through. That's kind of what this fellow's referring to. I guess I really don't know. You can drive in one end of the building and dump the load and then drive out the other end. So this next one actually is kind of lengthy. Oh, maybe it's all here. I've downloaded all the mods, I've placed them in the mods folder, but the wood is still showing up in the middle of the BGA. Any help would be appreciated. Yeah, that's probably a version conflict. Visually, this guy says it's great. Unfortunately, we get stuck everywhere, in the village, at the cow pasture, at the store, and so on. However, you can drive through forests without a collision. The narrow roads are unavoidable if you want to get to the pasture to bring the cows grass and corn. It's annoying at the moment, getting stuck every time. I've taken it down again. Visually, though, great. Maybe I'm just too clumsy to maneuver it. And he's making a complaint, but I would say being a good sport about it. He's leaving compliments to it. He's just saying, it's a frustrating thing he's having to deal with. And he sounds like a decent person. And he probably just didn't know how to open it up in the editor to fix some of those things. So, comment we've seen before. How do I get rid of the lumberyard and put the biogas in there? Please help. Yeah, I don't know if they downloaded all the mods or not, so who knows what that person's asking about. Oh, I really don't like the map. If I drive my original forest harvester, an original trident tipper, and even slightly bump into something, I get thrown across the map. The entrances also leave much to be desired. There's no signs indicating where anything is. It's confusing. I played for 30 minutes and I'm not impressed. I hope this will be changed in version 3 or 2.1. Otherwise, it's not a bad idea. Well, yeah, I don't know if some of that changed or not. I can't remember if there are any signs in there, and as someone that plays kind of in third-person mode, the signs wouldn't do me any good. But yeah, this is where a mapper can really help people if they have a manual that says, here's where all the triggers are, and where you need to go, what you need to do to make all this work. So yeah, there's going to be some criticism, and some people will tolerate certain things and others won't. I've been playing on the map for 10 hours and nothing has grown yet. Can someone help me? I don't know what that means. You know, did the person try planting something or not? I have noticed there was a field where the grass was short and it has since grown up. And so I know something is growing on there. Now, one thing I haven't tried yet is, you know, because I've been kind of in harvest mode here, haven't tried to plant anything myself. So, yeah, apparently this kind, nothing growing. This is the best map there is, and absolutely perfect. Well, boy, it just runs a gambit here. Some people hate it, some people love it, and some people complain. Constructive criticisms all over the board. I've downloaded everything, and the lumberyard is still there. Can someone please help me? Please send me a private message. Otherwise, awesome map. Yeah, that's been a common recurring theme. So hopefully, eventually, he figured it out. I really don't know what you're all on about. I played this map for over 45 hours in single-player and multiplayer, although I've improved it a bit with clip distance and added 20 spotlights, and look, it just keeps getting better. So I think he was, I don't know who he's probably referring to, a number of people on here. Could you also make them in a multi-fruit version with oats and beets? Yeah, we've heard sugar beets and potatoes. This one is adding oats. I guess carrots have been suggested. Multi-fruit always adds additional fun, that's for sure. The other one says, this could be the best map ever. There's only one thing wrong. Cows own pasture in the farm near the village, but they pasture in the classic cow zone as in the original map. Is it possible to fix this problem? Well, I'm going to flag this one. I haven't bought cows, and I hope they appear next to the farm, kind of where the food trough is, but I guess we'll find out. Great map, but where do I unload bales, and how do I get the BGA in and the wood pile out? Yep. Another comment just above him says the same thing. How do I move the wood pile and add the BGA? And everybody wants a PM. Nobody wants to take it in public. Let's see here. Okay, you know what? I think I'm done with that page. Best regards and Happy New Year. Okay, well, thank you very much. Can someone please help me? How do I get this out of the storage tank that I poured in? Oh, yeah, that's probably similar to that other comment. You know, once grain is stored, how do I get it out? How do I get the silage out of the silo at the barn? How do I get a proper biogas plant instead of the lumberyard? And, of course, send me a PM. Another one says, best map of all time. Can someone send me a link for the map or trigger? Can't open the gates. Hi, Daniel and Nicholas. I really like your map. I do have one request, though. Could you perhaps make a V3 with the biogas plant? This is another mod. Could be great. This other person says, you're so stupid, you have to include the BGA add-on. Well, that's real nice. Yeah, someone right above him asked, why was a BGA removed? That's total nonsense. Then this person, of course, replies, you're dumb. Okay, well, yeah, great. Wonderful comments. You can find the add-ons under useful items. Yeah, someone's trying to help them to find where these extra scripts are. Could you build a version 3 where I can pro-farm 1? You can put the straw bales in a manure pile and they decompose. I had that comment too, but Yap doesn't have that script. Hey, we're out of time. Thank you so much for stopping by to listen to this little video. Y'all have a great day.